So Georgia was
Georgia was great, man. And to be honest, I got the wagon itch big time down there. Like it's honestly all the Audi wagons, even the older. You had your Passat wagons, you had your Jetta Sport wagons there. Just the Audi, all roads. The amount of wagons over there really got me getting an itch.
So for a little bit, I drove a S4 wagon. I was borrowing it from a buddy while my car was in the shop, and they're so fun. They are. They're a great little knock-around car.
It's that perfect in between, but, us in the States, we just like to have our little SUVs.
Well, I was going to get to that. So the problem I see is that even at that age, my kids were a little smaller. I got a 10-year-old and an 11-year-old, and with them getting into hobbies and sports and things like that, there's no space in those cars. Like in the scheme of things, like if I want to put a soccer tent,
wagon?
Yeah, if I want to put a soccer tent in it, I'm folding a seat down to be able to fit a soccer tent.
I can't agree with that, but I don't know. It really comes down to the wagon. Like if you're looking at like an S4 wagon, it's like, yeah, of course it's an S4 wagon, but like that RS6, I don't care what you say. Of course, again, price is different thing, but I don't know. I feel with the right wagon, you'll be okay. But either way, we in the States, all we want is these SUVs, and now we're getting into all these performance SUVs, and I don't know how to feel about it. Like I like it, I don't dislike it. Like I'm actually a big fan of that SQ5, and I've always said I kind of want one, but then it always steers me back to, do I really need an SUV?
So the wife has an Explorer ST, 2023 Explorer ST, and I love the thing. I like the versatility of that feature of, oh yeah, we can go into sport mode and have fun with it and still drive it, but then have the kids in the back, third row up if we have to, and have the other kids in the car. I feel like it fits more of that need to
see, but that's the difference. Our needs are different.
Correct. Yeah, 100%.
Big time different.
But I'm saying as far as like the American public in general, I feel like the people that can afford the more toyish, hybrid of a SUV and a like toy is gonna be
your little crossovers, or even
But it's gonna be that person that is in my age group that has the family starting out that still doesn't want to give up the performance and the fun of a vehicle, and then still have the versatility to be able to fit all the kids in it.
Yeah, but you also got to look at, like, if you look at that BMW X3M, that thing is with a tune and some little bolt-ons. The thing's gone, man.
Yeah,
like, I'm not putting
100%.
My family in that.
Why not? I mean, that's like saying you wouldn't do it in a track hog.
I don't know, man. For me, it's how much power is too much power in an SUV is my question. That's really how I go at it, don't get me wrong. I think it's awesome that, you get these X3Ms just like, I'll wipe anything on the table right now, just straight sleeper. But I don't know. Just what is too much is really where I kind of want to go with that.
I don't know. I mean, I got to tell you, there's something magical about a Trackhawk with a choppy cam, with a blower that, yeah, it weighs 6,000 plus pounds, but the thing is still
I think 6,000's on the light end.
Okay, so 6,800 pounds, whatever.
But like that's where I go into it. It's like the weight to power ratio. It's just like it kills it, dude. What do you get? How many gas miles you getting? You getting 12 miles to the gallon on that Trackhawk?
But how many smiles to the gallon are you getting? And that's the question.
Until you pull into the gas station, like what else are you gonna do with it? Yeah. I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. Like of course the Volkswagen Audi community is pretty big on air ride and like seeing all these SQ5s, these Tiguan's all slammed out. I think it's cool. I think it's awesome. But then when you just get into like the performance aspect, like I've heard people say like, oh, dude, with coilovers on an SQ5, it handles just like any other, small sedan or, with the same suspension setup. But like, again, it's just, do you start to get too top heavy if you're trying to get into these turns?
Yeah, like, I mean, I get the center of gravity argument. Yeah, like, there's 100% something there.
It really comes down to like how much can you push a performance SUV?
We're not taking these out on a track. We're not going.
No,
you're not going to go
100%.
Barreling into a turn at 110 and expect it to handle like a Miata would. Quote unquote.
Listen, of course, we're talking two different animals, but it's just like, I'm not even. It's people are gonna just roast me if I say that. If I said, "Do you need that much power in an SUV?" But of course, it's always you need that much power.
But when the best part is like
even like for me, like oh yeah, I'll get an SUV, but I want it to have some power to it, like an X5M or something like that.
But there's something so much fun about literally being at a stoplight, having somebody pull up to you in a modified, GR Corolla, let's say, and they don't have any idea what you have done. And all of a sudden, they take off, and you're next to them, and then pulling freight trains on them.
It's easy for just like this ECU tune, and then just go out the door. You just did it on your wife's car. You said you gained.
Well, no, I haven't done it yet. I'm looking into it, but you're picking up 96 horsepower and 50 foot-pounds of torque just on a tune.
Just on a tune alone, like it's great. Don't get me wrong. That's just anything nowadays. Anything new nowadays. All you gotta do. Well, not too new, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, the newer vehicles, they've been able to take advantage of the direct injection, so they have a lot of room to grow on the injector side. So where we'd run out of injector pulse width previously, you're not running out of duty cycle. You're able to climb much higher on the direct injection because it takes such a small amount of fuel. And then, so with just a low pressure fuel pump, you can continue to push and push and push that high pressure system.
It's very true, very true. But again, I don't know, man. Just for me, it's... if you put an SUV or a wagon next to me, I think I might take a wagon over an SUV.
I mean, and
I don't know. Again, it's crazy because I'm stuck in between like 4 different cars, either a coupe, sedan, SUV, or even a wagon. The wagon just came from this past
at least you
weekend.
didn't say minivan because
that's never gonna happen.
So that's our selection though. I have a choice between a minivan, an SUV, and a wagon.
I'll put a kid in a roof box before I get a
Jimmy,
minivan.
get up on the roof, strap yourself in, it'll be fine.
We're not buying a Toyota Sienna or a Honda Odyssey or Pacifica, whatever you want to call it. I don't know.
Sure?
Yeah, I'm 1,000% positive that's not coming in my house.
You know what's crazy is I was looking just for shits and giggles because my brother-in-law is looking for a minivan right now, and some of them are making like 360, 320 horsepower.
That Toyota Sienna is boogies, dude.
It's crazy how much. Like you think back, you're like, oh, it's just a little minivan.
No, man. Some of these minivans will push you in right now.
And now they have the hybrid ones, so they're even making more power. It's crazy.
I don't know. Again, I'll never have a minivan, but I feel like if I did ever have a minivan, it's going to be like an old Chevy, like a box minivan.
I don't know if that's a minivan or just
that's just a van. That's just a van. I don't need a minivan. I need a van.
Are you going to paint free candy on the side of it?
No, come on. When I have that, I'll have kids, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll just live in it. Live in a van.
Live in a van down by the river.
Oh God. Gosh. I guarantee you, well, maybe the older guys, but I guarantee you a lot of our listeners probably don't even know what it is. Oh, there you go. That's the van I'd be rocking. That Euro van, or to be honest, that ID Buzz would be pretty awesome.
So yeah, we talk about this all the time. The ID Buzz had a like workman edition overseas that we don't get here, and it's so freaking cool.
Yeah,
it really, Max. I don't know if you can pull it up. I'm sure you know which one I'm talking about.
I got to see one of those like in person. They are pretty cool, and it's like a Sprinter van, really.
Yeah. And what's really great.
Yeah, but I'm all about that.
Oh my gosh,
all about that. Love that. If it only had crazy. A VR6 in there, man, it really needed that. But that's just totally taking us away off the topic.
But it's great because it makes the sound as it drives by. Buzz.
But the interior is nice on that thing. I think that thing's pretty cool. But back into it.
But when it comes down to like the wagon, there's also a cultural thing. Like with you being a big VW guy, wagons are kind of like a lifestyle.
I think it's a European thing, if anything, because it really.
Okay. Yeah.
I can't even say that because America had their wagons too, but like I feel like it was.
Yeah, I mean, you had the Roadmaster, you had the Nomad. As far as like American cars go, there were a couple options. I mean, the Nomad, still to this day, is probably one of the most popular 50s cars, besides like a Bel Air and things like that.
You're not wrong. It's crazy to me that a lot of these performance SUVs just have overtaken the market, and like you get no wagon options versus like, oh, I want a performance SUV. I got about 20 right now in front of me that I can go with. That what I think is pretty crazy. Or your wagon options, it's either really cheap and shoddy and like you don't even want it, or it's going to cost you over $100,000.
Yeah, I mean that's also the crazy part, because if you look at like what is it, the Porsche Panamera, that
big. Even though that's not considered a wagon, it's got the wagon type feel. I get it,
wagonish,
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 the 5-door gang.
But see, to me, that's also the problem, is that you have that like that shooting brake argument where it's more of that coupe design with the more slanted back, or then you get into it's a sedan with more of a slanted back, but. Or you get into the actual wagon where you have that full back with the liftgate back.
I just that CTSV wagon is probably best
those
thing.
are still probably one of the coolest.
So I love those so much, and you had a manual option in that too.
Yeah,
my buddies just found a RS6 wagon manual, 30K miles, and the guy wants, I think, 60K or 80K, one of those. I know it's a big difference, but it's either a 6 or an 8. I can't remember.
I mean, that's a big difference.
I mean, it's a big difference, but I think it was 60K the guy wanted. But manual RS6 Avant, that's
checks every box.
That checks every box. Versus these SUVs, like, yeah, you'll get them. They got the power, but it's like no manual options at all.
Yeah, I mean that is a big takeaway, that the manual gearbox, as far as those are concerned, is not a doable option.
That's another big thing too. Like with your wagon, versus nowadays, you can't even get really a wagon.
I was going to say it doesn't matter no matter what's going away, and that's really the issue, is that you're still finding it less and less.
Now we turn this into a manual versus.
I know. Apparently, we can't stay on topic.
No, we can't. Not at all.
But but the thing that I'm really starting to see is that you're not seeing the production of the sports cars, because it's not a market share that they can sustain by itself. So I feel like the sport SUV allows them to still sell SUVs and still sell something sporty, and be able to kind of harmonize the two into being able to get the sales from both ends of the aisle, which is something that they would lose out on.
I just feel like they're giving so many options for these performance SUVs. And again, I'm not against it. I'm all for it. But it's just, I mean, I feel like there's more performance SUV options than anything else.
I mean, that can be said. I mean, we've also trimmed back. So you have some of the models that are going away. Like obviously all the SRT stuff is dead.
Well, yeah.
That was the loss. From what I understand, though, they're apparently bringing the engine back.
Well, the engine will come back, but the car won't, because they keep getting stolen.
Max laugh.
All there was Max laugh. I swear, if you got a Dodge, just know it's probably going to get stolen at some point. I hate to say it. Dodge Infinity.
So we were looking at that, actually, because we were looking at the used prices on the SRT8.
No, I wouldn't even look.
They've all dropped. Like, everything.
Yeah, because nobody wants them.
I'm wondering if insurance has actually caused them to just drop so much in price, because nobody can afford to own them.
I can only imagine how much insurance is on those, but again, we're going into a completely different topic here now.
Well, no, I meant the Trailhawk. No, the Trailhawk though, in particular, like we were looking, it lost like 3 times its value.
Yeah,
like that's absolutely astounding.
I mean, I don't think really any of these newer cars are holding value unless it's a 911.
Well, yeah. Only thing that goes up in price
I feel
is a Porsche.
Don't get me wrong, it's always been like that, but I don't know. The new car values, I feel like once you drive it off the lot, you're getting half right off the bat.
Now the question is, do you think that it's sustainable, what we're doing with the SUVs? Do you think that this is just a bubble where a lot of these brands are going to go back and kind of say, all right, you know what, enough with the chasing the performance aspect, or you think they're just
I don't think so.
It's going to continue to stay that way?
I think it's going to continue just because I don't see the hype for an SUV going anywhere. I really don't.
Okay.
Like when I started driving, it was like, get the first car has to be like something smaller or something. Nowadays, you get these high school girls coming out with a Jeep Wrangler around the way. Yeah. Just because the parents want them to feel safer.
Yep, that's true.
So I don't know. I just feel like the SUV is only going to get more. I don't know if it could even really go much more than what it is now.
I was going to say, it's pretty ubiquitous now, right?
I think the market will remain the same or increase on your SUVs or performance SUVs.
Okay.
That's my take on it. I feel like every year you will be getting some new model that it's like, this was a 1,000 horsepower SUV coming off the lot.
See, I think that we also forget that they've been doing this for a while, because if you even go back, like the GMC Typhoon, when the Typhoon and the Cyclone, That thing's still ripped though.
To be honest, I love those so much.
I mean, you didn't really have the SUV craze in the 90s and 2000s as much as you do now, but you still had like the Lightning, which was a pickup, obviously. And
every car that you just mentioned.
Oh, the Lightning, the
Typhoon, Cyclone, they're all 2-doors.
Did they do the SRT-10 in a 4-door? The SRT-10 pickup truck in a 4-door? I think they did.
Yeah.
So there are still some.
That was a little bit later than what.
But still completely impractical as far as that thing was the definition of an impractical truck.
It's unnecessary.
no towing capacity.
It's unnecessary. It really, really was.
That's a gorgeous Typhoon.
That's the.
But
even just those 2-door Blazers in general.
I was going to say, the Trailblazer SS, that was another. So there's been, throughout time, we've always had it. I feel like we're just now embracing it more.
It's always been like 1 or 2 models. Now it's every manufacturer's got 3 or 4.
Yeah, I mean, and you have a lot of them that are also phoning it in, where they'll say it's a performance model because they upgraded the brakes and put a bigger wheel on it, where it's not necessily that they increase the performance that substantially.
That's just like
because you get it with the Kona N and things like that. Those cars, or not Kona. I'm sorry. What is it? The EV. What's their truck that they say that is their performance one that they're racing? Yeah, that is the Kona N.
It is the Kona.
They're
N,
using that little thing.
That one's an SUV.
Crossover.
Can't even call that thing an SUV.
Crossover.
I feel like the GTI has more room in there than that thing.
But my point is that shape, whether it be the ability to fit more people in the vehicle and still get something sporty out of it, I feel like is something that's not going away.
No, I don't see that going away at all. But I would like to see some wagons come back.
Yeah, I mean,
some more wagons, if I should say.
Well, that Buick Regal wagon, or that Buick whatever it was, wagon would have been really sick if they would have put something cool under the hood.
I mean, I don't know.
Did you
want a Buick?
I know, but it looked it was gorgeous.
I don't want a Buick.
I forget what the thing is called. Max, if you can find that one in the notes, that thing is awesome. But it was gorgeous, and they really. There it is. Buick Regal. It was a Regal Torax.
Yeah, that's not for me.
Yeah, but I don't think it's bad.
I'm not saying it's bad. It's just not for me. Not my cup of tea. But, hold on. Max said it.
There it is. Oh, Polestar, of course.
I mean, Volvo has always kind of been in the wagon game ever since.
Oh.
But again, that's going into your, across the pond,
Yeah. Well, we got the V7. What was it? The V70 wagon? What was the wagon that we got here? The really nice one that everyone liked.
The box one?
Yeah.
The V70.
V70 was like legendary.
Yeah, that was legendary because you had some kid get it passed down from grandpa down to him. And then he's like, I'm going to go drift this thing.
But
that was awesome.
That's really the question: is the SUV dominance here to stay? Are the manufacturers going to step up and start making some in between products with the wagons? I mean, you've seen a couple of them start coming over.
I don't think so. I think the wagon aspect here. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, we're getting what is that M3 Touring? I think we're going to be getting here in the States now, which I think that's cool. That's bringing another wagon, or is it M5?
I was thinking.
M5. Sorry, pardon me. Yeah, the M5 Touring. I think that thing is awesome, but I think they're only bringing that because the RS6 is here. Just to kind of have some competition.
Getting the RS6 here, I feel like was a really big step because I think for years it was one of the most 100% fanboyed after.
100%, that was a big thing, but I don't know. I think older wagon, newer SUV would probably be my take.
I mean, I could agree with
a B5 S4 RS4 Avant. Game over. That thing is. That's the hottest thing around.
Pretty nice car.
I love it.
So when you guys were down in Helen, Georgia, what was the event down there? Like, how were you guys going around driving? Was it like a local spot? How did that all kind of play out?
AVF Helen, Georgia, is probably one of my favorite shows. I will have to say. You're getting a bit of everything. You're getting car meets. You're getting friend hangs. You got people driving from Mexico across the U.S. to come over here. There was a Sirocco there that some dude imported from Japan to Mexico, and then he drove 40 hours from Mexico to get to Georgia. I was like, dude, you're wild. But the car was gorgeous. But you get everything at that show. You're getting a little bit of driving the mountain roads. You're getting meets. You're getting hangs. It's really, there's not much you can.
I heard about this really infamous golf cart that was going around doing pops and bangs just to fit in with the Volkswagen crew.
So we rented this golf cart, and they asked us, do you guys want gas powered or electric? We were like, oh, gas, 100%. No problem, gas. So like we're ripping it, and one of our buddies like comes up behind us as we're driving, like, and he pulls up behind. He goes, "Yo, you guys zip tie it?" Yeah. We go, "What the hell are you talking about, zip tie?" He goes, "I'll pop up the seat real quick." Zip ties the governor back so that we get like 2 or 3 more miles per hour, and dude, we're just ripping it, and then just like pop, like once you let go of the gas, it would just pop, and like it was amazing. It was honestly probably the best time we had, was just driving around that damn golf cart.
I'm sure you fit right in with all the other Volkswagens
because they're all putting around,
popping and crackling everywhere they go.
That was great, but. Yeah, no, Helen's a great time. I strongly recommend it for any Volkswagen Audi guy out there. I know I saw a few people out there with our wheels there. It was cool, man. I like it. It really gives you, how should I say this? It really gives you.
Did it feel like the vibes from the old days when you guys used to go to like H2O and things like that? Was it that old feeling of like the old, like just hanging out and seeing everybody, like that country club feel?
H2O was to get reckless, and Helen is for chills. It's chill vibes there. Like, yeah, you go drive the mountains with your boys, chill out, and then just go out to a meet, and they do, sanctioned meets, which is pretty great. Yeah, it's honestly a great time, and to be honest, it's the only time I get to see like a ton of wagons in one area.
I was gonna say, too bad you didn't get to rent a wagon for that trip. That would have been
an A7, which was probably just as close, but because I took that boat out into the mountains, and like, dude, I had a buddy with a TTRS, and like I'm sitting there, I'm like struggling to hang on to this turn. I was like, I gotta slow down, guys. You guys, I can't.
You're in a golf cart. You're in a freaking yacht,
dude. I'm in a land yacht over there cruising. Well, but yeah, no, Helen's a great time. I strongly recommend it to any Volkswagen Audi guy who's ever thought about going. Go. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. I would book your trip now. Just don't stay at the AmeriView Hotel. That's all I recommend.
If you guys want that story, leave it down in the comments. That way, Doubt can come back on here and tell you his amazing story of when he had the worst hotel room experience ever.
It was disgusting. I mean, it was probably the most disgusting hotel room I've ever seen. And that's pretty bad, dude. Like, I've seen some pretty bad ones.
So on that note,
let us know what you guys think. Are you guys down with the performance SUV vibes? Are you guys against
wagons?
It? Are you guys more into the wagons? What do you guys feel? We'd love to hear your take, and definitely like and subscribe. Check us out later.
Peace.
Peace.